Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to bring you in on my step-by-step process of how I prepare for a cozy romantic date night in. This is Kevin and I's favorite type of date night. I usually do this for us if he's been working extra hard and needs to unwind a bit. I set the mood and I get out our comfy robes and I cook us a to die for 4-course meal. So let's get started. So this is how my house looks on a typical day. Not too dirty, but a couple of things laying around here and there. So I'm just gonna clean up and get all of this out the way. But before I do, I bought some flowers from the market today. So I just want to put that in the fridge so they do not wiffle up. So now I know your mama told you don't ever let your man come home to a dirty house. And no, she was not an anti-feminist. It's just who wants to come home to a dirty house after a long day of work? So just take a couple of extra seconds to pick up everything and put it back where it belongs. Clear off the table. You're going to have your dinner on. And please do not skip this step. A clean environment makes all the difference. And don't forget to smile. Because OMG, we love him. And we want to show him just how much we appreciate all the work that you've been doing, Zanny. So you better wash those dishes with enthusiasm, sis. Because I guarantee to you, by the end of this video, if you don't have him in the palm of your hands, you clearly did not follow my instructions. And for those that have a cute little baby like mine, look at that little tiny face. It's best to get a babysitter because it's very difficult to have a romantic evening with a baby. So now that you're all ready, let's set the mood for ourselves by pouring a nice tall glass of red wine. Let's get the air smelling beautiful by using a diffuser. I love mixing eucalyptus and lavender oil together. It just makes the room smell so refreshing. And while you're making this whole meal, you really want to smell this nice puff goodness while you're preparing all these things, because look what's up next. We're making some calamari. Look at that little nasty thing, but it tastes so good. So I'm just gonna run you through this really quick. So now you can typically find calamari in any local fish market, and you just want to cut them up into the little circles that you usually see them as. And the trick with calamari is to soak them in buttermilk, egg, and a little bit of salt. I'll leave exact recipes in the description. But this is what stops your calamari from being gummy and chewy. The buttermilk acid really breaks it down so that it's nice, soft, and just buttery, and the egg gives it a nice flavor. So now on to the crust. You want to go in with 1 cup of flour, equal parts of cornmeal that will give it another great flavor. Then you want to add about a 1/4 cup of cornstarch. That is what's going to give it its major crunch. And then you go in with the seasoning. So this is some paprika, a little black powder, some Himalayan pink salt. I think it has more flavor than regular salt. And I typically do not over season calamari because I think it has such a great flavor on its own. But I know how us black people love to over season everything, but please try not to. So after that's all mixed up, it's time to move on to frying. So here I really need you to also disregard everything that your grandmama taught you. Do not make this sit once it is breaded. It will completely ruin your calamari. Take it out of the mixture, dump it in your flour crust, and throw it directly into the oil. No sitting. And I promise you, this will be one of the best calamaris that you've ever had. Doesn't have a lot of seasonings. All of the flavor is coming from the buttermilk, the egg, the pepper, the salt. But at the end, what you want to do is hit it with some Romano cheese. That cheese is going to make all of the difference when it comes to flavor. I promise you. Everyone I've ever made this for always wondered what's the big secret. The secret is keeping it simple. Let those natural flavors come out. and also the sauce, which I'm going to show you really quick. So first, please get a high quality marinara sauce. This bottle of Il Moluno costs $14. I know it's pricey, but it tastes so good. And I must say, this sauce recipe has two things that I hate the most. Mayonnaise, which you see me putting in right now, and horseradish. But when I tell you, I learned this from an Italian video to put this sauce together. It is so freaking good. Oh my gosh. Like, if you like a marinara based with their calamari, you have to try this sauce. The creaminess of the mayo and the kick that the horseradish gives it makes it amazing. You are going to impress whoever you make this dish for, accompanied by this sauce. It's amazing. So now moving on to some rosemary, garlic, butter mashed potatoes, and disclaimer, I do not like my mashed potatoes really creamy, so if you do, just add more butter or add more cream, but I like to kind of like bite into my potatoes as I'm eating mashed potatoes. So here I'm just rinsing off the potatoes, trying to get off all the dirt and grime. You let them soak to take all of that mucky nastiness off of it. So after that's done, you just want to chop them up into small little pieces. The smaller the better, because then they will cook a whole lot faster. And I am a bit of a clean freak, so I kind of do like to put them to soak again for a little bit. And after that, just dump out all of the dirty water that it sat in, and I put it back in the pot. I like to put the strainer in the pot so it's a lot easier to pull out when it's finished cooking. So I'm just letting that cold water run on it, because you never want to start your mashed potatoes off with boiling water. You want to bring it from cold to hot. So I also really like to use all fresh ingredients when it comes to making pretty much all of my food. So instead of me adding garlic powder and all that stuff at the end, I'm going to boil my potatoes with the garlic. It's going to make the flavor so much more powerful and fresh. So like I said before, I made sure that the water was cool and that I put it on the stove so it can all get heated together. Do not make the water boil first and then put your potatoes in. Please just listen to me. I know what I'm doing. So while that's working its way up to a boil, let's go prepare for bay a little bit. So let's take those fresh rose petals out of the fridge and head on up to the bedroom. So now if you have enough time, I say to please wash the sheets, because there's nothing like fresh sheets. Oh my gosh, it just smells so good and feels so good on the skin. Oh, so good. But it's okay if you do not have the time for that. Just clean up the room, make up the bed, and spray a linen mist, or otherwise known as a pillow mist. I get mine from Bed Bath, and it is amazing. It makes your sheets smell like heaven. So now this is all about setting the mood for him for when he comes home. So I like to take out his favorite robe and to take those fresh rose petals. Please do not use the fake ones. It costs $10 a bag, and just spread it all around the robe. It's the little things like this that will make him really appreciate all of the thought and love that you took to put into this romantic evening. Just get the fresh roses that smell so nice and feel so soft, and then go into the bathroom and spread even more rose petals so that when he takes his shower after he comes home from work, he still sees that, God damn, this girl loves me. Because that's what this is all about. You're trying to show your man how much you appreciate and love him. So go ahead and continue this romantic mood by lighting a nice masculine scented candle. I'm using Storm by Sensational. And am I the only one that struggled to light anything with matches? Okay, looks like I finally got one here. Am I gonna get the second one? I don't... fuck, that's hot. Okay, let's try this again. So, light the candle. I'm just a hot mess. Okay, take two. Come on, girl. You can do it. You can do it. It's coming. It's coming. Next. Almost there. Oh, you. No. What? Try. Okay, we got it. So now I'm just going to dim the lights down to really just bring all of it together. The candlelight with the roses. Who wouldn't want to take a shower in this kind of heat? Come on now. Do it for your man. He's probably going to run home every day after work after this. Come on. It's worth it. So now, back to these potatoes. So once again, I like using fresh herbs for everything, and I also think it's best to warm up your cream instead of dumping it into the potatoes cold. So I'm going to bring my cream up to a simmer, and I'm going to drop in some fresh rosemary along with some fresh garlic and make it boil to get all of those flavors infused into the potatoes. And fresh is always better than powder. Remember that. So now I'm just going to strain the potatoes by simply yanking out the strainer, and you can see it's easily draining. So after that is done, I'm going to put them back into the pot while it's still piping hot. Now I feel like adding melted butter gives the potatoes better flavor than adding the cold stick. And once again, if you really like your potatoes super creamy, this is when you will add more butter and more cream. So after you mash it about halfway, you want to pour out that rosemary and garlic infused cream into your potatoes. Of course, add more if you like it creamy. But I ain't the one. I hate creamy, wet potatoes. So just keep on mashing them until you get the consistency that you desire. And when that is done, just put it in the bowl to be plated. And the smell is amazing because we used all fresh herbs, so that buttery, garlicky, rosemary, organic potatoes are really just coming together. And I forgot to say to add salt. Please, common sense. Please add salt to your mashed potatoes and a little black pepper if you're feeling a little spicy. So now moving on to our star of the show, the lobster tails. If you're not familiar with lobster tails, you just want to take some kitchen shears and cut the back going all the way down to where the tail begins. Do not cut past that because then it will just fall apart. So after you cut it, you just want to crack it open and then pull it out from the back and plop it on top. Rewatch if you do not get what I'm doing. So after you open up the tails, you just want to pour some olive oil on it, but you're supposed to really brush it. So if you have a brush, please use it. I'm just going to do a little ghetto and pour, and then start to rub it in. Ooh, yes, rub it. It's okay, sorry, we'll stop. So yeah, then you just want to season it with a nice Cajun seasoned blend. This one I have has paprika, some Italian seasoning, some garlic powder, black pepper, cayenne pepper, dry thyme, onion powder, salt, just the works. This is when the grandma seasonings come out. Drench it, just season it up. Let the juices of the olive oil and the meat soak in with the seasonings. Okay, so now on to the butter garlic shrimp. You just want to deshell and devein all of them. I'm going to move through this quickly because it's pretty self-explanatory. Everyone knows how to make shrimp at the very least, right? Okay. So after we get those shells off, we're going to create a shrimp marinade. And shrimp is a very delicate shellfish, so it doesn't take a lot to marinate it. So we're just going to grate some garlic over it, and we're going to take some olive oil, and we're going to pour the olive oil on top of it. And we're going to give it a quick toss to get all of those flavors combined in there and set it to the side to be cooked later on. So now let's move on to setting the table for our romantic dinner. I like to put 2 plates down, one for our main entree and the other one for our appetizers. Yes. And at this point, I'm definitely playing some music to really get me in the groove. So after we put the plates down, let's get the forks, the knives, and the spoon for desserts. And of course, candles make everything that much better and that more romantic. So I have this candle holder that I got from Pier 1 Imports, my favorite store. And I'm just going to put a couple of candles in it. And to top it off, some rose petals, of course. So I'm just going to drown the table in rose petals because that always takes everything to the next level if you haven't realized it yet. So just spread it around. I'll put down some glasses, got some nice wine glasses that I also got from Pier 1. And there we go. That is our beautiful but simple table setting for this evening. So now on to the cocktail, because what says I love you more than greeting him at the door with an already made cocktail? Hello! So I'm going to make the caprini. Is that how it's pronounced? Probably not. I'll put the spelling up on the screen. But it's just some lime and brown sugar muddled, and this is a strong drink that I'm making because it was most likely a long day. So I'm just going to mush it up until you get all of the juices of the lime and the sugar culminating and creating a nice tangy syrup. Then I'm going to put in some crushed ice. Yes, I did see the ice spill over. Okay, I'm not perfect. I'm going to pour in some El Dorado rum. Please choose a rum of your liking. That is just all that I had. And yep, there goes the ice again. So I'm going to stir it around and just garnish at the end. And this is what I'm left with. So here he comes. And if I wasn't doing this video right now, I would have been naked. No, let me stop. But yeah, greet him at the door with the drink. Look at that smile. Oh, baby. Oh, yeah, taste it. I know you only like pina coladas, but it's not bad, right? Thank you. Okay, so since he's here now, I'm going to get our meal started. And I love to start off all my meals with bread. And the perfect thing to put with your bread is roasted garlic and olive oil. So simple and so tasty once again. You just want to cut the garlic in half, pour some olive oil on it. Yes, I know I'm having some technical difficulties here. But after you finally get the olive oil on it, you just want to wrap it up in some foil. Close it up really tight, and you want to put it in the oven at about 420 degrees for 40 minutes. And I'm also getting ready to put everything else in the oven since he's home now and I want it all to be fresh. So I'm popping the lobster tails in the oven for about 10 minutes on 425 degrees as well. So now I'm going to get started on the sauce for the shrimp. So I'm just going to saute some garlic and some olive oil, toss it around until the garlic becomes translucent. Then I'm going to add some red pepper chili flakes to give the sauce some spice, and add a big squeeze of lemon and have that sizzle on up in the pot while I give it a couple of quick stirs. And after that combines, I'm going to pour a half a cup of white wine in there to really bring all of those rich flavors out in all of the ingredients. Now once I see the sauce getting a little bit thicker, I'm going to add in the butter. As you can see, the sauce is getting very rich and creamy. Everything is combining extremely well, so you're just going to keep on stirring it up until it just becomes the desired consistency. Once that's done, you're going to throw in your shrimp to be sauteed in that nice brown sauce. So now please remember that shrimp cooks extremely fast. The longer you cook it, the tougher it will be. So high heat, flash cook is what you're looking for. So now back to those lobster tails. They've been in the oven for about 10 minutes on 425. So we're just going to take some roasted garlic butter that I found in the store, and I'm going to smother it all over the lobster tails. Make sure you're very generous with this because this is what the money maker is. I'm making no sense. Okay, so anyways, just spread a lot of butter on it because it's going to make it extremely juicy and flavorful. So now after you've done that, you want to pop the lobster tails back in the oven on broil for about 3 to 5 minutes depending on the size of your lobster tails. I put mine in for about 5. So now all of that is done, it is time for us to serve our romantic dinner. I love starting it off with bread. I just took this one, sliced it, and added some garlic butter in between. And of course, we have our roasted garlic that we are taking out the oven now. It's fresh and hot, gooey and buttery. We also have our calamari sauce that we prepared. So we're just going to put that in a ramekin to be plated alongside our beautiful golden calamari. I hope you guys didn't forget. So to garnish, I'm just going to chop up some parsley and sprinkle it all over. I mean, look at that. You cannot tell me that that does not look perfect and professional. And when I tell you, it tastes even better than it looks. Oh my gosh. Please try the recipe. So you must always serve seafood with lime. So I just twisted one and placed it on the plate. Perfection. So now I'm also going to plate my entrees. As you can see, I also sprinkled some parsley on top of my lobster and my shrimp. Look at that once again. Look at that. This is restaurant quality in the comfort of your own home for a fraction of the price. Amazing. So now let's get this dinner started. And here I go again with these freaking candles. Come on, man. Come on. Priya, you can do it. Just take a deep breath. In and out and strike. There you go, girl. You got this. Oh, okay, I spoke too soon. But it's alright. Again. There you go, girl. Like I said, you got this. So, ladies and gentlemen, our romantic evening has officially begun. Enjoy! And I like to bring out my meals in courses, so we're starting off with the bread. And right about now, he's telling me how much he loves me. Because I mean, come on, you're growing all out. And I'm all ears for it, so thank you. So after we eat our bread, I bring out the calamari, and then we start to talk about each other's day. And then we ask the question, should we make a baby tonight? Okay, probably not. So now just look at this spread, guys. I mean, come on. And I know that cream spinach was not in the video, but it was just too long. So if you want the recipe for that, just let me know as well. I make it with, cream, bacon, and spinach. But just check this meal out. Like I told you in the beginning, if he's not in the palm of your hands by the end of the night, you did not follow my instructions. So that is it for our dinner, guys. I wrapped it up with a warm chocolate molten cake I got from the bakery. If you guys enjoyed this video, please go ahead and like and subscribe, and I will see you next week with a brand new video.